Well, I think it was quite devastating for the mere fact that as a consequence, they had to call off perforce their third attack on Karachi, and it has been written in the books, it's proven, analysts have written it, so there's no debate on it. So their third attack on Karachi would have been very devastating, but they had to call it off because once they lost a ship, they had to pick up the survivor. All their effort went on picking up the survivors, plus chasing me and detecting me and sinking me. And they all got after me. So at tactical level, Hangor may have, in my personal opinion, may have sunk a ship at a tactical level, but at strategic level, the advantage was, or the effect was, that Indian Navy called off the third attack on Karachi. That's the strategic win. Well, let me first cover after the war. After the war, on 9 December, they also remember those who lost their lives in Kukri. There is a Kukri monument on Dew Head where survivors gather and mourn their dead. We also celebrate, in other sense, as a conquest of our success, and having sunk the first ship since Second World War, we also celebrate. We celebrated 50 years of our Hangor Day, means first ship sunk since Second World War by submarine action. They celebrated 50 years of loss of Kukri. So it works both ways, the history. One way is sad, one way is okay. Now, as far as before the war is concerned, losing a major ship, especially in this case, it's an anti-submarine ship, who was supposed to search for me. As a matter of fact, Kuthar, Kirpan, and Kukri was the anti-submarine squadron. They were anti-submarine ships with device for detection and also weapons to sink me, to sink the submarine. But something went wrong with Kuthar. It had to return harbor, and then Kirpan and Kukri were looking after me. I fired the first torpedo on Kirpan. The torpedo did not explode for various technical reasons. Great major decision, assisted by my ops room team. We took a decision and we quickly turned around and fired a second torpedo on Kukri. Maybe it was written like that. Kukri was a squadron commander ship. In our luck, it was to sink a squadron commander ship. And since it was a shot from the astern, as we call it, from behind, it exploded under its magazine, where Kukri was carrying about 60 tons of explosive to be used against me. So once the torpedo exploded, then the magazine, 60 tons is a lot of ammunition, also exploded. So such an explosion, it lifts the ship out of the water, breaks it back, and it sinks normally in a few seconds. In this case, about 2 minutes. So 170 people either got killed or got trapped, couldn't get out. About 70 or so, they jumped overboard, used the emergency rafts, and they stayed the night, and some of them also died because it was a cold night, windy, because the rescue efforts from Indian Navy came much later, next day. Immediately after the explosion, the first reaction came from an ER and engine room person. His name was Shafiq, late Shafiq, who left his, and he was very quick. He left his duty, came to the ops room and told me, "Congratulations, Captain Saab." And my immediate reaction was, "Thank you," and I used a big fertile language in Navy, which I can't repeat. I said, "Get back to your duty." So that is the reaction. I think it will be more human and a very factual thing, that a person who was not in the ops room, his emotions carried him immediately to the ops room near my periscope seat where I was sitting, and congratulated me. And of course, we were all very happy that we've sunk a ship. But as commanding officer, there is an added responsibility on your shoulders. Having sunk a ship, now I have to escape. And I'll be very honest that immediate reaction after my initial happiness, jubilation, success was, how do I get out? And on my shoulder lie the responsibility of saving the submarine and my crew. This is the immediate action. And this is what I face next 3 days. Next 3 days, they knew my rough position, they knew my rough direction. They had dropped about 156 depth charges, some near, far, some far. But you imagine in calm sea, you are underwater, and even a depth charge falling few hundred yards or meters, as we call it, it shakes you. During these 3 days, submarine is a tough life. We don't cook and we don't eat. We save a battery. We save oxygen. People don't realize. They think it's all, pothole, we see the fish, this, that, nothing of that sort. Submarine is a very tough life. And these 3 days, we absolutely shut down our galley, what we call kitchen. So we save our battery. We don't, to fight, we shut down air condition off and on so that we don't use our battery. We ask people not working to lie down in their bunks with minimum physical activity so that they don't consume the oxygen. Because I'm in closed place, and if people do a lot of activity, then the CO2 comes. So what do I do when oxygen becomes less and carbon dioxide more? I don't want to use my emergency oxygen, so we take care of all these things. So no food, no movement, minimum equipment. We rig submarine for quiet, minimum machinery so that we save our battery and also maintain our minimum oxygen. And that is the way it is. And I would be fair in saying at 36 to 48 hours, I don't think anybody took any meal or things like that, just a small snack whenever it was possible to survive. And we were actually trying to get out of it. Well, I'll be very honest with you, I'm not in politics. Neither I was, neither I am, neither I intend to. That's why I'm a military officer. I love my profession, which should be non-political. And I personally believe that we should obey the elected government. And that's the way the system is. But having said that, it is also established that the military can't fight if the environments are hostile or if the population is hostile by virtue of propaganda and wrong information, disinformation, which was the case in East Pakistan. And the second point is that even Second World War proved that there is no military solution to political problems. So political problems should be settled politically. There is no military solution. Well, military will go if it's ordered. West Pakistan, we had support, did much better. I mean, when submarines fight, they also have a support because we leave our families there and we know something happens to us. Families will be looked after, there will be a support, logistics support, welfare, this, that, war. So without the support, as a matter of fact, I will like to quote you an example of 1965 war. When I was in Ghazi and we were expecting our first child and I left my wife alone and I proceeded to sea, so I thought she should at least have a telephone in case of emergency. So I went to what we call McLeod Road, and I think now it is I. Chandrigarh Road, probably, old-timer McLeod Road, and there was the telephone office there. I went and saw the director. When I told him I'm in Ghazi and I'm going, do you know that he got up? He opened the door for me and told me, Lieutenant Saab, go and defend the country. We will look after your family. What a thing to say. I went absolutely burden-free, worry-free, and I went. When I came back, the telephone was installed and demand notice was there. So I mean, the support of the nation and the people is essential for armed forces to deliver. So I think 71 it was a bit less, but 65 it was absolutely 100%. Well, I have always been proud of my service. I am proud of my service. I will remain proud of my service because I wore the uniform of this service for 40 years. As simple as that. But having said that, I'll be very honest in stating as a veteran my appreciation to the naval leadership who for last 10 to 15 years or so have done commendable expansion and acquisition in all four dimensions. More surface ships have been being inducted. I must make it clear to people who are listeners that there is no navy in the world which only has air arm or sub arm or under water arm. You need all the four dimensions. You need surface platform, you need underwater platform, you need air platform, and you need things like marine and SSG. I think they have done very well. They have managed their funds very intelligently. And I think it is the first time, to the best of my memory, where major surface platforms are being inducted all new, not like the old time when they were 5 to 10 year old, 20-year-old. And they have got modern sensors. Even the submarines, which we are buying now, I mean, it's no secret now, 8 from China, 4 being built in China, and 4 will be built in shipyard, whose steel cutting took place on 9th December. I think it's state of the art. New air platforms are also being acquired. New marine battalions have been raised. Marines are sort of naval infantry, SSG, Special Services Group, also being reinforced. So I think a lot is happening. And as a veteran, I have no other motive except sincere appreciation for the last 15 years or so that the naval leadership has really managed its resources, also good relation with the government, and the acquisition in all three dimensions are taking place. I wish them best, but I also warn as a veteran that it means high standard of operating. It means high standard of safety. It also means high standard of efficiency. And I always say that safety in peacetime to these expensive platforms is paramount. These are absolutely amanat with us of our nation. We have paid so much money and therefore it is incumbent. It is essential on our young officers, CPUs and sailors to look after these platforms with utmost attention to their safety and their own training. Also, I feel that training-wise, I think Pakistan Navy has an edge over Indian Navy, and so do we have an edge over safety. My only prayers are that we maintain this edge in these two aspects and have this motivation to continue with these high standards. Thank you.